Hey guys, welcome to 2021. I hope everybody is doing good and feeling good and excited about the new year. It's been a hot minute since I've been on here. I'm actually like a month late because I've been so busy with my other businesses that it's been just very crazy, very busy, and I hope the same for you guys. I am going to be starting with a brand new deck, and I love it. It is absolutely amazing. It's the Light Seers deck, tarot deck, and it's just fantastic. I really like the imagery on it. I like the messages that it brings, so we're going to be using that today and probably throughout this whole deal. So I am going to focus, I promised in December's videos that I would be looking at love as well as the main focus of the month, and I wanted to focus on the astrological energies, and I devised the questions based on all of the different astrological changes that we'll see. And this reading is actually going to be covering January and February because I am late and I don't want you guys to wait a full month to get January, and I like to disperse kind of one by one. So you're not waiting. I'm going to do a combination of January energy and February energy. But before we get started, I did want to just give a quick message on how those energies are going to look for you, and then I will kind of specify a little bit further for your particular zodiac as well. But for everybody in general, the first 2 weeks or so of January is going to be really focused around that new moon solar eclipse energy, and it's kind of coming from mid-December in the sign of Sagittarius and kind of into January. That energy started out with these promised, opportunities of exploration and discovery and kind of this awakening and giving us that courage to expand our horizons and gain some insight from experiences and not feel quite so anxious about the end of the year, but more excited for the beginning of the new year. So you're a little bit more inclined to nurture yourself, your faith, your hope, your vision. And it's really, as we get into January, I would recommend not to jump too much into new adventures. I certainly would be a bit more aware of your impulses this coming month. As you follow through, just be easy at this time. Impulses can definitely work the better of us if we're not in tune with our needs, and it can lead to mistakes if we are not focused on that properly. So just watch for making decisions while in the freedom of all costs kind of mindset. Okay, now at the end of January, Mercury is going retrograde. Don't freak out. It's going into the sign of Aquarius on the 30th. And the main questions I'm focusing in the end of January and beginning of February does focus on Mercury retrograde, how you can prep for it, what you can do to kind of stay in touch with staying a step ahead of the game here, so to speak, so that you don't have a whole lot of you have more benefit from the retrograde than you do that decline that a lot of people can sometimes feel. Mercury retrograde in Aquarius will kind of tap into our more humanitarian side of things. So more prone to inner muse when it comes to innovative ideas, or slowdowns and delays might be likely when it comes to productivity, as opposed to being more in touch and in tune with your relationships, if you will. Okay, as we get into February, we are going to have an accumulation of planets. Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, and the Sun are going to come into Aquarius, and this alignment will be boosted with the entry of Venus in the sign of Aquarius as well. So it'll tell us more about the desire for emotional independence, and on the other hand, with the square between Saturn and Aquarius and Uranus and Taurus, it will also have it'll allude to eternal resistance to changes. So also be aware of that when you are maybe facing some shifts that you might feel a little bit outside of your box. You definitely don't want to necessarily just elude from it. You want to look at it, especially if it's during that retrograde period, on what that lesson can bring for you. Other than that, the best time to ask for a favor is going to be February 12th through the 13th, when the planets are adding a special blessing in a beautiful way. Okay, so we're going to kind of get into this. I've got about 8 or 10 questions for you guys. I will find out the best message for you when it comes to love, and then when we get into the March readings, I will really start looking into that, but I want to focus more on you for the first part of the year. Okay, so let's get into it. I appreciate your patience with all that, but a lot of good information. I think you should be informed. That's super important, so let's get into it. All right, guys. Hey, Libras. All right, so let's take a look and see how this Capricorn energy is affecting you guys. We've got this new moon in Capricorn. last quarter moon in Cap, and then just overall kind of Capricorn energy as we're looking into January here. So for my Libras, get over there. Where do you need to apply this Capricorn energy in your life here? 8 of Cups in reverse, 9 of Cups in reverse. So walking away from something that ultimately either did or will provide some kind of contentment or needs some pursuit. But there's some unfulfilled wishes that haven't come, into play because you haven't put enough energy into it. And this Capricorn energy is bringing you an opportunity to really put your skills and efforts and opportunities, your power into this as the magician and with all of this divine, manifesting energy and allowing you to go back and attempt or retrieve whatever this was. So that's coming forward in your life, and it's kind of that, it's your chance to really kind of take control and do something about that again. What long-term goals need your attention? Page of Wands. So again, reaching out and transitioning into this experience and really just taking this fearless dreamer approach to it as opposed to a restricted approach to it. There's something here that does have a long term. The Knight is about a long term, and it's about setting those goals and those milestones. 7 of Wands. Having the courage and confidence to stay calm and just go with it. Just to use your own goodness and strength, and to get that strong sense that allows you to really allow that to just take off. Okay. What needs to be cleansed? 2 of Wands, and we're looking at that last quarter moon now in Capricorn. 2 of Wands. So your understanding of your potential and just kind of going after it and doing it has been kind of, your spark's been a little bit dampened a little bit, and you really need to see things from a perspective of a renewed sense of strength. So whatever's brought you down, whatever's made you feel like you need to question yourself, that needs to go. And this Queen of Wands needs to come back out and just forget all of that and, use that control and that possession of your creativity and passion and self and confidence and go after whatever it is that you're going to go after. Who or what do you need to detach from? So there's somebody in the group, basically, who's just got this unfortunate sense, could be Pisces, of just kind of, envy or maybe just depression or lacks a sense of themselves, and they find pleasure somehow, maybe even unconsciously, and kind of calling you out or making you feel less than what you deserve. And this person needs to either be put in check or needs to be released from your particular crew. Okay, what's the next best practical approach to take? Again, just you either put all the worries out on the table or you let them go and you just kind of move on from there and don't really stress too much about that, but just kind of, it is what it is, and you cut your ties and you move on. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. I don't see that there's anything you were asking if there's any way that this could kind of come around. Unfortunately, there is a misfortune with maybe their own, history, and it does create an unfortunate sense of problems with their current relationships, and that's not your fault. That's just something, that's the way it is. How can you expand on your vision? So now we're getting into February, the new moon in Aquarius. We've got that Chariot. So far you got the Magician and the Chariot. So now you've got this fresh new sense of self. You've released all those toxic energies. You've got this, renewal of what your possibilities are. And here you are. You've got the Chariot. This is going through this journey, going through those obstacles with determination, and you are getting a very clear ability to bring your energies back into play and just take over, not only what you desire, but to see through the gossip and the overindulgence of other people and some of those just bad habits that others might have had with their emotions, and you're able to see that from moving forward. I mean, you can basically, you can see it before it even happens in your world, and that's a sense that you just kind of needed to create for whatever reason for your future. So what benefit will Aquarius energy bring? So we've got that Sun energy. So a lot of strength and renewal about yourself, feeling like you can be comfortable in your own skin. Knight of Cups, like you're not just giving away this energy to somebody who doesn't really believe in it, or is just tricking you, or is just this kind of superficial kind of an energy, this portrayal, but not this truth. The devil, if you will. All right. Toxic energy, just someone who's not in it for the right reasons, but more in it to manipulate. So you got this opportunity to address the situation. Okay, we've got, this retrograde that's coming in. It's going to bring an opportunity of temporary instability, just to kind of show things for face value, for what it really is, so that you can see the neglect for what it is and release it and move on with your life. Okay. What can you do to prep for the retrograde? We've got the Four of Wands. So the best thing that you can really do is just take a deep breath and look around and just soften your gaze and take an understanding of what you have right now. Set those boundaries, get really confident and solid with your foundation and what you are, who you are, what you've got, and be okay with that, regardless of what anybody else has to say. The best that you can do is to get yourself in a position where you feel like you have achieved some really beautiful things. In doing that, you're going to be able to avoid some of those hardships, because you're going to instead open the door to a new beginning and kind of avoid that tower moment, because you are at peace with what you have, as opposed to someone else or the world making you feel like you have to achieve something more, you have to have something to do this or whatever. You've got what it takes now. You've got what you need now. It was a matter of you seeing it that way. Okay. In what area do you need more balance? Page of Cups. You need someone who's around you that can give you that stable energy of love and compassion, but it's real. It comes from the heart, okay? Instead of this person who is just kind of a killjoy and a gossip freak, okay? That's really what you're needing. Now, and as far as love goes, where is love going? You got the Ace of Cups and the Hangman in reverse. So it looks like once you come out of that energy, actually other things start to kind of come out of the funk as well, or out of a fog. You have this Ace of Cups, which is an offer of love or renewal of self. And the Hangman in reverse is realizing that, man, maybe I made, maybe I need to go this direction with that decision instead of what I felt before, because I'm coming from a different space, in your heart. And the Seven of Pentacles, and I do see some seeds being planted by way of continuing to plan for the future and building on something here with regards to love. So I do see love building in January and February. This is somebody that you will be very content with, that is very charismatic and very, very sexy energy. So I am happy to see that the charisma and this intuition is going to be kind of hand in hand with your energy, because you kind of separated yourself from that lower vibration and decided to raise it and not settle for something less than you're worth and deserve. Okay, you obviously get rewarded in some type of way that is in line with what you've been desiring. All right, flexibility. That's come out. Who did that come out for? I can't remember. Sacral chakra. That's that sexual creation, or just kind of that, and that stability to create or to have that relationship, and that kind of that individual creativity. Inner child and forgiveness. So this is, from that heart space, this is feeling like you've got that connection with somebody, but you don't really want to cut things off, but you got to kind of call it how it is, and there is a need for forgiveness, and it's just kind of one of those uncomfortable, confrontations. So that could be where regards to the relationship that we were talking about, needs to kind of just be put in their place, but it brings more of what you're needing in your life, which is flexibility. It's more contentment and support. That's what you're needing. So that's what it will bring. Now, if you need to see how that a blockage is affecting you, if you feel like that's something you truly have and you need to release that, feel free to reach out. We can get that unblocked. And there's a free assessment link down below. So let me know how you resonate with that, you guys, and I hope you have a good couple months. We'll see you in March. Much love. We'll talk to you soon.